Hello Sagittarius, Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead, Sag. How are you? Look, this reading, if you're here real time watching this, is going to be for the last day of the year, and that's going to be for the next 6 days of the new year. So I hope you're well, Sag. Thanks so much for clicking here. We're just going to use tarot today. And if you are brand new to this Sagittarius tribe, welcome, welcome. I am your Sag sister. It's in my rising. And if you are rolling up here on all these shenanigans and you've brand new, there is a subscription button in the bottom right-hand corner if you'd like to join this really quickly growing tribe. Sag, let's find out what's going on for you in the week ahead. So whether you get this today, tomorrow, or next year, please know that it could resonate with you, even if you aren't watching this real time. Sag, if you are the person who is always here in the comments, thumbs up, watching, viewing, subscribing, thank you so much for all the ways you've been loving on me this year. I appreciate you, my fire family. Tell me what's going on with Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Got the Two of Pentacles. We've got the Two of Coins. Decisions, decisions, decisions. And we've got the Six of Wands. Sag, I feel like you're at this place where you can no longer avoid making decisions. Feels like you've been trying to keep your balance here. I think you're trying to keep your mind in balance. I just want to say it feels like there's some things that you don't want to do, a decision you don't want to make, but it's coming to a place here where I feel like you're the one with all the balls in the air here. It feels like you are somebody could be low on money for sure. I've got to make a decision to get myself out of here. Look, I feel like whatever decision you make, the Six of Wands is here. It feels like it's a decision that will be a good one because there is success here. Yeah, this decision that you make is going to cause a tower, my friend. It's going to cause a major shift in your life. And I feel like that's why you've been avoiding it or trying not to see it, trying not to look at it. It feels like you've been trying to feel it out rather than believing what you see here, but it does feel like there is some sort of really big shift that is showing up here. It feels like there are things that you've got to let go of here, or you've got to release some sort of, it could be a mental anguish, but also I feel like for some of you, it could be something that is in the mind that's been holding you back from making more money, having more abundance. It feels like you've been on this tightrope here, holding on to these Two Pentacles. Maybe life is really busy, but it feels more like you're trying to stay in balance financially. Feels like there is a shift coming, but it is going to bring an ending to something. And I feel like that's why you haven't made the decision yet to move forward. And it's because you know that, the tower's a shit show, right? You know that it's going to affect more than you. The shift is coming. It's like a renovation of life, right? And renovations aren't bad. Like, they end up being beautiful, right? Especially if you're renovating a house, right? But renovations aren't bad, but the destruction that it causes for a while is displacing. It gives you a place of displacement almost. Yeah, it does for me feel like somebody here is making a decision. They know that they've got to release something that's barely keeping them in balance. I feel like what you're holding off by not making this decision is you're holding off a whole lot of abundance. So whether that is financial stability or a brand new job or a brand new relationship, the King of Pentacles is in the reverse. And when the King of Pentacles is in the reverse, somebody here is not making very good decisions for their pentacle world. I feel like if you decide to make a decision to move past the 2 and go to the 3 pentacles here, if you decide to rebuild after the tower, I feel like it works out really good for you. I feel like you're headed for some sort of victory or success here. And it feels like it's after a really hard cycle that you've been through, Sagittarius. But the thing is the Den of Swords is what it is, right? It's painful. It's hard to let things go. It's hard to end things. Tell me more. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. Got the Ace of Wands. Look, I feel like it's something that's good for you, Sag. It's something that's exciting, a new path. It's something that is sparking your interest or putting a little bit of a fire in your belly. It feels like this is something that's really good for you, that you're excited about, but you know that in order to have it, you're going to have to leave something behind. And that makes you a little bit defensive. And I feel like you haven't told anybody that you're about to make some sort of a really big shift in your life. That's because you're at the Empress level, whether you're the feminine or the masculine. This is Libra and Taurus energy. So whether you're the feminine or the masculine, I feel like you've outgrown something, or maybe you've grown up. It feels like you've come to the wisdom of a situation. And it's because you're the one, you're the person, Sag, I feel, who is not scared to learn new things. There's so many people who get stuck in their mind. They carry on traditions that mean nothing. Sometimes those are religious traditions. They're just going into the same religion that their parents did without even looking into it or anything. They just do it because their parents told them to. I feel like you're not that person. I feel like, Sag, you are your own energy, man. You are the one who is unique, and you are the one who does your own thing. I feel like you are somebody who's really very balanced and has a lot of wisdom. It feels like you've grown up a lot in a very short time. And it feels like it's through the learning of lessons. And sometimes those lessons were sharp. Sometimes they were really hard. But I feel like, Sag, the thing I'm trying to tell you here is I feel like you're holding yourself back from moving into your new vibration, because you know that not everybody can go with you. So there's a really hard shift that's coming here. And I feel like the reason that the shift is hard is because you've been holding back for so long. It's like you're in the belly of the slingshot, is what it feels like. It's like the slingshot is pulled back and we're just about ready to let it go. I feel like it's time for you to step across the finish line and step into the new life, into the new vibration or the new frequency. To stepping fully into the Empress energy means you don't need anybody or anything or anyone. And it's not an egoic thing at all. It's just that you now are in a position in your life, Sag, where you start carrying people, carrying them along, because they aren't in the same place in their lives as you are. It's not an egoic thing. It's a fact. The fact is that the Empress has all of the wisdom of all of the queens. This person knows how to be compassionate, kind, and loving, who knows how to be independent and go after what they want. This person's financially stable. This person is also someone who speaks their truth. They say the things that they're going to say. And I feel like there are still people in your life that you're hanging out with, that those people aren't necessarily in the place that you're in. And I think that's why the Ten of Swords is here. It's like your hands are tied. There's nothing you can do but move forward. Because I feel like at this point, if you don't move forward, you're holding back your own abundance. You're holding back maybe a new job or a new cycle of money, or because the King of Pentacles right now is in the reverse. And I think it's only in the reverse because you're not learning that if you hold yourself back into this old vibration with friends, family, people that you love, people that love you, if you keep in that vibration, if you don't go forward here, you can't have the things that you want. Tell me about the Two of Pentacles, please. Got the Hierophant. Got the Page of Wands and the Death card. It does feel like for some of you, you are going to have to let go of or transform out of some sort of a vibration. It does feel like you will be leaving pages behind, is what it feels like here. And it feels like the reason you'll be leaving the pages behind is because the pages, if we're picking an age, are around 7 to 15 years old, and the Empress is in their 30s. You see, there's a vibrational difference, right? And so you're hoping and wishing and maybe giving the information to the pages to say, come on, you guys can come with me. You just have to learn the lessons and you have to change. But I feel like this is not what's happening. I feel like you've become the spiritual teacher, that you've become the spiritual leader, and you've learned the lessons with the Hierophant. You've learned the lessons, the spiritual lessons that you have to learn to move forward. And I feel like the Death card next to the Page of Wands is telling me we're probably not going to be friends after this. Or we're going to, there's going to be an ending to the time that I have to spend with you, because it's time for me got to keep moving here. I've got to keep moving to the next vibration. So I feel like you've given your friends, family, the people at work, whatever the situation is about for you, you've already given them the information and they're doing nothing with it. Listen, we go to the Fool, right? The Fool is the beginning of the major arcana, which is card number 0, which is nothing but the possibility of everything. And the Fool then goes to the Magician and gets all those tools, but a lot of people stop at the Magician and they don't use those tools. You decided to use the tools and you're already at the 3. You're already someone who's decided to use the tools, get the information, and keep moving. But there's a lot of people who are just still stuck in the Page energy. So tell me about this Tower, please, because I feel like you've been creeping so slowly towards this Tower, even though on the other side of the Tower there's some sort of new, exciting, creative, beautiful, fiery path. Like it's like you know that you can hit the ground running here, but you've been holding back. And when you hold back or put things on the back burner, that's when the Tower shows up, because the Tower's like, nah, you can't do that. You can't hold yourself back just because those other people are back there. There we go. We have the Star energy. And the Star energy is you've got to go. You are the star. You're the one who's been really working on themselves. The Empress is the result of self-mastery, right? It's the result of really taking care of yourself on the outside, taking care of yourself on the inside, being aware emotionally. Your third eye is open. You're the person who is the provider, the one who's growing roots, right? And I feel like you're the one who is the star. And everyone around you knows that. They can all see it. And it's time for you to move to the next level. So that, the Tower, the universe never leaves you out to dry here, Sag, because we do have the Tower and immediately the Star. They follow each other in the major arcana, 16 and 17. And so I feel like when the Tower does fall and you decide to race out of the gates here, I feel like the universe is giving you this healing energy. We've got the Knight of Wands. It feels like as I drop these cards, you might be preparing to leave a situation or make a really big decision. And I feel like this decision to you looks like your hands are tied. There's nothing else I can do. It's going to cause a lot of pain. But I want you to sort of flip it and look at it as accomplishment or something that you've had your eye on for a really long time. And I think you've held back as long as you can. It's now time to leave some people in the past, to close the door to the thought pattern, the old thought pattern or the old way of learning. And it's time to race toward this end game here, I want to say. The World card to me at this close to the end of the year is representing the end of the year. It's been coming up a lot in a lot of the readings. And so the end of the year is Tuesday, right? Or Monday. Monday's the 31st. So this door is going to be closing pretty soon. So I feel like you're racing for the door is what you're doing here. Because there is something brand new that's about to begin here. And I feel like it's going to, first of all, impact you financially, like in a really good way. I feel like somebody's leaving an old vibration, which might be the old job, going to a new job, or you've decided to quit the job. You've got enough money in the bank. Like the abundance is here, right? The Empress is abundant. This is the strategic thinker, right? She's the one who's got enough money in the bank. She might have been squirreling away money for a while, so I can quit my job and take a little bit of time off and decide what I want to do next. But I feel like this is an accomplishment, and not everybody in your life is going to be happy for you or see this as an accomplishment. We do have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is the planner. We do have, this is Capricorn, of course, Taurus and Virgo, because we're in a general reading, but Capricorn energy, we do have a new moon in Capricorn coming up on the 30th, right? There is a reading I'll leave at the end of this video for you here, but Capricorn is the planner. I think that you're making a plan here for something new. Something new. It's just such a beautiful new beginning, I want to say. It's a beautiful new beginning, and it feels like it's a really balanced new beginning. It feels like you're planning, right? We've got preparation here with the 2 wands, and then we've got the Ace of Cups connected to the World card. I feel like when the door closes, what opens is it opens you to a world of exciting balance, right? We've got water and fire, which is temperance. It feels like it opens up a new world of balance, of patience. It's like a whole new world is opening for you. And you've been holding yourself back from that whole new world here. And last card. We've got the Four of Pentacles. You haven't been telling anybody, because I feel like you've been in this energy for so very long, like, sort of dragging your heels, making, maybe taking longer with your edits than you need to. You know what I mean? It's like when you write a book and you edit the first chapter and then you go back and you edit the edits and edit the edits. It's almost like you're getting lost in the edits, and it's because you're stalling for time, is what it feels like. You're stalling for time, but look, the place that you're going, I feel, is so beautiful. It feels like could be brand new love here. It's really exciting. It feels like you do have to leave behind people who are at a lower vibration or a different frequency than you. And it feels like you've done everything that you could here with the Hierophant to teach them what you know, but they're not catching on. They choose not to grow. They choose not to believe what you tell them. They just choose it. And they're allowed to choose, and so are you, but it doesn't mean you have to stay behind. Tell me why the Page of Swords is here. Tell me what Sagittarius is learning here. What's the whole point of this? It feels like this is all a lesson, Sag. We've got the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. We've got the Four of Wands. And we've got the Ace of Swords. Not everybody can go to your happy place with you. The Three of Pentacles being in the reverse tells me that not everyone is willing to do the hard work, willing to put in the hard work to build things like you are. It might be that you're leaving a soul tribe or a group of people or a community. You might be moving away to a new house, a new home here. It might be the realization that I've got to move to a new neighborhood. I no longer fit into the old neighborhood or the old community. This could be a community of people. This could be a community of friends. It could be your family. It feels like you've learned a lesson here, and the lesson is the Three of Pentacles is in the reverse. That these people, this group of people who I thought had my back, who I thought were in collaboration and cooperation with me, are actually people who are only willing to go to the third pentacle. They're not willing to go past there. But you're the Empress. You've already learned the lesson of the Queen of Wands or Queen of Pentacles, right? You know how much abundance is out there for you, and you're not willing to give it up, and no one's willing to follow you, and that's why you've been dragging your heels, because you don't want to have to leave the family members behind in the old community and move to a new community, maybe an upscale community, maybe a place where your abundance is going to work for you a little bit better. Maybe it's a group of people, right? Friends. We've got the King of Wands in the reverse. We've got the Nine of Wands in the reverse. And we've got the Magician. I was talking about the Magician earlier, right? So I feel like you've given them all the tools. And as I said, the Fool is here, the door opens, we walk through the door, and the next, it's the Fool is 0, card number 1 is the Magician. And the Magician tells us that we have all the tools to do what we want to do. We become an alchemist, and we take everything that has hurt us, that was terrible for us, or even things that, of the past, and we alchemize it into something brand new. We realize that we always have had, like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, we always really could go back home. And so I feel like you've got all the tools, and you have, with the Hierophant energy as the spiritual teacher, you've taught these people about the tools. You taught them to walk through the door. You taught them that the Magician is there. But then after that, it's up to them. Whether they use the tools or not is totally up to them. You're using your tools, right? The Magician holds all the aces. You're using your tools, and you're like, I've got to go. I've got to use the tools. I can no longer be behind this fear wall. I can no longer be scared or exhausted. I can no longer hold myself back. I can no longer hold my fire back. We have the Nine of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is 10. You're dropping your burdens. I can no longer hold myself back. I've got all the tools, and I've got to go. Tell me what the outcome is, please. For Sagittarius. We have the Strength card. We have the Nine of Swords, and the Fool. Talked about the Fool. There it is, Hangman on the bottom of the deck. So I feel like what you've been doing is you've been sacrificing yourself in a different vibration and not moving ahead, even though the thing is when you have a vibration of people and you end up outgrowing the vibration, they end up following you, or they end up being codependent on you because you have all the tools, you've done all the work, but then they become codependent on you because they don't want to do the work. right? They're scared to go outside of their comfort zone. They're scared to go outside of who they are. And so I feel like the Strength card and the Nine of Swords is telling me that you were the only strong one of the group, that you're a strong one and you did head for the door. And so it is time with the World card here for some sort of lifestyle, group of people, where you used to live, whatever it is. If you're moving, maybe you're moving across the world, but it feels like the door is opening for you and you're headed for the door. You're running for the door, right? This Knight of Wands is here and is running for the door before it closes. And I think that you already know that, you know, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of things. I feel like you're trusting the process. The Hanged Man energy is about sacrifice. It's about trusting the process, getting a new perspective, but also sort of hanging there, waiting for something to change. So I feel like what's changed here is that you now have a new perspective. And you've decided that in order for you to move forward and succeed in your life, in order for you not to get caught in the Page energy, that you've already outgrown all of that. It's time for you to cut yourself out of the tree. It's time for you to sacrifice whatever's not working for you around you and head for the door. 2025 is around the corner, friends. I'm going to leave that right here. Thank you so much for being here and for all the ways that you've been loving me on this channel this year. I do appreciate you, Sagittarius. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back because I'm always back. Love you guys. Happy, beautiful New Year. Bye-bye.